Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why.
Welcome to Kiddo and Janko Wednesdays at Lunch,
Burger Edition.
I'm Seba. This is Matt.
Hello.
And this week we went to Pick's Burger. I mean, in reality, we did not go to Pick's Burger. You went to Pick's Burger, Matthew.
Yeah, I went there for two.
Sorry?
I went there for two.
You went there for both of us. I appreciate that. Because as you could probably tell from my voice, I'm a little under the weather. And Matthew is a sweet guy. Decided he would pick up the burgers and we'd have a little bit of a home burger edition.
Home burger. I like that.
I know you do.
We came up with that.
All us. It's all
separately,
us.
But within our minds. That's when you have a burger at home.
Precisely. So now I'm going to just, as a preemptive statement here, Matthew, I'm going to remind you that you cannot factor in the plates that you used here for your rating when we get to it.
I won't.
Because usually that seems to give a burger an extra point just if you eat it off a plate. Non-applicable here.
No, I know. There's certain things that I'm going to have to factor in, omit, and the judging will be difficult, but I think I'll manage. So
now I feel like I need to explain my voice a little more by yelling at the St. Patrick's Day parade.
I was very pleased when you told me that you didn't have a voice. I knew it was that afternoon you spent yelling at floats.
Well, I mean, it wasn't just floats. I was yelling at people too, but mostly floats. And I also stayed out drinking until about 3 a.m, having started at noon. That makes for a long night. And I wasn't that surprised the next day when I had no voice. And I thought specifically back to when I was yelling across the street repeatedly for our friend Dane. And he just completely ignored me. And I completely ignored the fact that he was ignoring me. And continued yelling his name as loud as I could for another 2 minutes or so.
I remember standing beside you and thinking, like, when I last saw Dane, he was not really in any shape to be responding to you.
Well, I feel like even as I was yelling at him, he understood that ignoring me was just going to be fun and I would keep yelling it.
Oh, yeah. Like, even the way, if you were yelling my name like that, regardless, I would just...
You would just let me keep yelling it.
Yeah, it was a very aggressive
It was
yell.
so aggressive and loud.
Do an inside version of that yell.
I don't know if there is one. Dane! 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 He continued to ignore me. Nick!
Yeah.
Get Dane!
Dane! You reminded me of that groundhog, that video of the groundhog yelling Helen. He didn't respond, but it was a lot of from the moment I saw you, just yelling at anybody, yelling at.
I mean, the parade day. It's just I knew going in. I know 3 weeks ago, I knew I was just going to spend the afternoon yelling. I know that's what I do at the parade. The leprechauns going by, I'm just yelling, oh my God, look at that leprechaun. Look at that leprechaun. A couple years ago, there were mermaids. I grabbed my friend, just started shaking him. Mermaids! There are mermaids! Mitsumi Takahashi, who's been the local anchor person for the news for basically my whole life, goes by on a float and just, Mitsumi! I want you on TV! I'm just yelling at anything. Because I feel like the only way they can hear me is if I really yell.
You have to make yourself a distinctive voice in the parade.
I'm just yelling so I could be heard.
Well, but I mean, no one's yelling generally. A lot of time they're clapping or they're standing there silent, nodding at them. But you're
waving,
going the extra mile. There were certain floats that you couldn't yell at, though. I remember when the Sacred Heart float went by, a bunch of schoolgirls went by. You wanted to yell, and you turned to someone and was like, I don't have anything to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to yell.
It's funny you point that out because that means that basically every single float I did yell at, with very few exceptions.
There were very few, yeah.
So the Sacred Heart girls go by, and I'm like, they got a purple outfit. That's okay, you know. Good for them, I guess. You know, keep it up, ladies.
And you were just saying that to whoever was listening around you. You were yelling for them. But then Dormevu goes by, and you're like, whip that pillow! Whip those pillows!
Hit that guy with that pillow. Oh, what a pillow fight, yeah. I have to mention, though, this has been a years-long dream, and only this year did I realize how completely achievable it must be. I need to contact the parade people and find out. I have a dream of getting a green convertible and backing up the whole parade, just with my right arm over the passenger seat and looking back, looking at the mirror, looking back, and just like constantly adjusting and reversing the entire parade, looking like I'm nervously like, oh, I just want to back up. There we go, the whole way.
Okay.
I think that's very achievable because there were so many cars I saw that's like, oh, that's an SUV with tinted windows and someone is waving in the back. I can't even see them because the windows are tinted. That's just a car. That's not a float in a parade. I feel at least if I get a green convertible and drive backwards, I'm 3 steps ahead of those people.
That's true, but the issue is not getting into the parade. The parade is, as far as I know, you probably pay like $5 and you're in the parade.
It doesn't seem hard.
No, but I mean,
a couple hundred maybe.
No way.
You think it's less?
It's a parade, man. What are they gaining?
I have no clue.
Like, why would people pay that much money? I guess if you're advertising,
yeah,
it's a way to advertise. But I know for the parade we used to have in our hometown, we went with scouts all the time. I know we didn't pay.
But you're scouts. No. It seems like you have a reason. It makes sense. You're part of the community. Okay. I'm just a fella who's renting a car for the day.
I do believe that you could get in to these parades without a hitch. You may have trouble getting a green convertible.
Oh, you could probably just car rental place, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And then like everyone thinks I'm there for discount rent a car or something. I'll do it for discount rent a car. Happily. I'm doing it for you. Free of charge.
They get it back. They're just going to be curious. It's like, you didn't drive this at all. You actually reversed the speedometer.
Yeah, but it seems like you've actually lost a few kilometers on this. That's pretty impressive.
I guess we owe you money.
Now, it just seems like they can't be letting just anyone in the parade for anything. You have to pay money because you're an auto dealer or like you're a community group, so you have a reason to be in the parade. I feel like Joe Schmo can't just join the parade.
I think that Joe Schmo can definitely join the parade. I think, especially if you got a costume.
Okay.
And you're like, I'm going to be...
Got a little extra?
Because at one point there were a bunch of superheroes that went by.
Yeah. No, but they were for the costume shop.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, they were for party time.
Wasn't there one that was heroes, be a hero for a day or something? And
but that was for Adopt a Dog. There were 2 different superhero groups.
That one I remember being strange.
That was the SPCA.
Because it was like be a hero, adopt an animal.
Yeah. One of those heroes was the Joker, and I really took umbrage with that.
Yeah, it was not... I can understand you kind of melt him in with the rest. He was in the middle, but he was still the Joker.
He's still the Joker. Psycho killer.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I did a lot of yelling at the floats, yelling at the parade. I have a little bit of a cold, but I feel like I've mostly lost my voice from yelling with all my might for about 3 hours or so straight.
Yeah, just so people know, even longer than the parade lasts, because when the parade's over, you're just yelling at anyone going by.
I was yelling at street cleaners because they're not getting any appreciation with the parade, so I was asking them to honk their horns, and I was yelling and cheering for them. There were the police going by. I was honking up, asking them to honk. Some of them were like, "Okay, let's do it," and I pointed, "Yes, thank you. I appreciate your enthusiasm." Other cops were like avoiding eye contact, and I didn't appreciate that. Obviously, nearly as much.
Obviously not. No.
Obviously not.
So you can be the rally leader for all the people. Next year, I expect you to, start something where it's, if no one leaves, the parade doesn't have to be over. what's a parade if not just people cheering? I mean, it's half.
Well, the
floats.
parade is the parade.
The parade is the parade.
We're spectators of the parade.
But what if the spectators never leave and they still keep acting as though the parade's happening? Then anyone going down the street, they are the parade, right?
That's what I was doing. After the parade was over, it was just traffic, and I was cheering for minivans and families headed down the street. Really, I was impressed at how quickly the time between end of parade and traffic commences was.
How quickly the transformation of normal parade attendee to crazy person on the street.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's really quickly goes within like 20 to 30 minutes from he's cheering a parade to he's a madman yelling on the street. That's right.
So whenever I see someone yelling on the street from now on, I'm going to think maybe there was a parade here a little while ago.
Maybe
and I
the
just
parade
missed it.
just wrapped up.
I should let them know.
Yeah. Well, maybe they know. Maybe it's you. Maybe they should let you know. Listen, it was just a parade that wrapped up. That's why I'm still yelling.
Yeah,
but they're
it's
all
going to throw
hopped
you
up on
off.
parade juice at that point.
Yeah. That parade,
It's one of my favorite days of the year.
it's when the weather's nice. Yeah, one of my favorite too.
Yes, that is key.
Just for the anarchy of it all.
It's madness.
It's gotten a little better.
Does it feel tamer than
it does
once
feel
was?
tamer because I think the peak of the insanity for me was when one of our friends, it's not that crazy. It was just a guy streaking.
Yeah, but I still, you have it on tape, and I love the tape.
The tape is the best.
It's fantastic.
I couldn't have scripted
not to
anything
see my
better.
friends streaking, but it's just the fact that he runs off into a crowd.
Super pumped.
1, maybe 2 seconds later, he's being carried back into frame by 2 police officers. It's just so quick that he runs away, thrilled, and comes right back. Carried.
It's amazing because he's like, should I do it? Should I do it? And everyone's do it, streak. And he so pumped, so much energy. The crowd is going wild for him. He's taking his clothes, he throws his jacket up into the trees. He strips down and then he runs with so much excitement. His face just lit with joy as he runs into the crowd. And
it's like he runs out, 1, 2, he's being carried back. It just happens so quick.
And it was because the camera follows, but he gets lost in the crowd.
Yeah.
I was like, where'd he go? And then so he's not necessarily getting carried back, but there's a cop on either side of him, and he's just walking, covering himself up, his head's down, and he's immediately like, please get the camera off. No camera. I'm so embarrassed. Like his attitude, I wish I could have been in his head.
My favorite part is that the police grabbed him. He was naked. They asked him to gather up his things. And we were like, well, that's the end of Nick for today. 30 minutes later, he comes out of an alleyway, meets us at a bar. Nick, where are you coming from? How are you here? So I cried. That was it. Didn't get a ticket, didn't get arrested. How'd you do it? I cried. They let me go.
You can get away with a lot on St. Patrick's Day.
I feel like the letting public drunkenness slide for one day a year really opens the door to a lot of madness.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. This is quickly turning into just a
parade in review.
A parade in review because I'm being flooded with memories of St. Patrick Day parade past. And
sure.
I mean, I don't know if we should get into all of those. There's some I really want to talk about. Well, even just sticking in on this one.
Sure.
One of our friends.
Yeah.
Not to name any names, Kevin was. He was with us for quite a while, and at one point, everyone kept.
I don't even remember him being at the parade.
No,
I saw a lot of him afterwards, but
yeah. Well,
I was at the front lines of the parade, so a lot of the stuff going on behind me was not important because they weren't actually in the parade.
No. And the group we had quickly just started separating. Every street we went, someone went down this way, someone went down this way. We lost a lot of people, good people.
A lot of good men were lost to the parade.
So eventually it was just me, a few other people, and him. And at one point he crossed the street and I lost him. I had his cell phone. I don't know why I had it. He just wanted to show me something. And then I was looking at it. When I looked up, he's gone. I see him across the street. And I'm calling out his name and he's not turning around. And he's gone in a matter of seconds. I'm like, well, I don't know what to do now.
Well, I mean, you put the phone in your pocket. Next time you see him, you hand it back.
Well, I did that, but we had plans. We were supposed to go over to his place or something for a bit. And
Oh, really?
so I was like, well, okay.
Was this en route to the parade or
on the way back?
Oh, okay.
Afterwards. And so I was like, well, I'll just...
He ended up with us.
Yeah, well, I was like, I'll bring his